So in the VLOOKUP lecture, we have learned that if we have data in other Excel files or even in the same file but on different sheets, we can intelligently bring in that information here against a particular criteria. So if we have to find out the product name and the product price from the other file which contain hundreds of these records, we can intelligently bring in the product name and price against this product ID using VLOOKUP. Well, personally, VLOOKUP is my favorite Excel formula and I use it very frequently. But there are some limitations about VLOOKUP, and for that reason we need to learn to use another function that is basically a combination of two functions, index and match. So we will call it index match function. What are the limitations with VLOOKUP? We will talk about that after learning index and match. So first of all, let us go to this sheet 1 here, that is the practice sheet, and let us discuss what we are trying to learn. So we have this data here in this complete table, and first let me show you what this index function can actually achieve. So if I just start up writing index and I press tab, you can see the first argument that Excel is asking me is for the array. With array I will mean that all the data that Excel is asking you to look up to. Now once we have selected the array, the second argument that Excel is asking me is about row number. So for now, just let us give the row number as 3 and let us give the column number as 2, and I will just show you what that will achieve. And now let us close the bracket and press enter, and you can see what we have achieved here. So if I can just open that formula again for you, you can see that we are basically asking Excel that from all the data that we have selected, bring in the row number 3 and column number 2. And if you can see, row number 3 is this one in the selected data, not in the entire table. The row number 3 is this one, and in this row the column number 2 is basically this one, Brampton. So that is exactly what Excel has extracted for us. Now you must be wondering that what exactly is the use of this, right? So that is why we need to bring in another function with index, and that is going to be the match function. But before we create the combination of these two, let us talk about the match function first. So let us start typing in the formula. Let us say match equals, now the first argument that Excel is asking me is the lookup value. So what value we are looking for? So for now I would give it as this cell. This cell is empty, so it will bring me an error, but later on then I can fill some data into it and check what it is all about. And then the next argument is lookup array. So I would say look into this cell, this complete column please. And the third argument that it is asking me is the match type. So I would say go with the exact match type and close the bracket and press enter. And since there's an error, let us bring in some value here. So I would say let us check the value number 7. So as I input 7, Excel has simply repeated my value as 7. If I put 9, Excel will simply repeat me. So this function itself is not telling me anything at all, but now we have to bring in the combination of these two functions as index and match, and that will be actually some magic that we will see. So let us try it here. So I would say let us first start with index, and now the first argument that Excel is asking me is for the array, that what data we are looking for. So we are actually looking for a store city, so I'll select all of this table here, and now let us go back to the top, and the next argument is Excel is asking me for row number and column number. Now if I simply put the row number and column number and get my value, that is pretty useless for me. What I will actually do with that? So I will rather start with the match function here. So I will write match and press tab. Now Excel is asking me for the lookup value, that what I am trying to find. So I'm trying to find the number 9, and lookup array should be actually this complete column, that is the first one. And the last argument is the match type. So I would say go with the exact match, and I will close the bracket and I will again close the bracket since there are two brackets here, one for index and the other for match. I will close both of them and I will press enter, and now you will notice something. We have the answer as Mexico City. And what exactly is Mexico City? So what we were trying to find, we were trying to find the number 9 in this store ID, and then we were trying to find the store city against that. So if I go to number 9 here, you can see that the city here is Mexico City. So let us change that to, let us say 14, and my answer now is San Francisco. So what is San Francisco? Let us go to this column here. So if I go to number 14, you can see that the city against that is San Francisco. So that is exactly how we can use the index and match in combination to find our answer. So if you are not very much comfortable with index function itself or the match function itself, I mean this calculation here, that was pretty useless actually. No worries, that is actually baseless. So the real meaning of this complete working will be in the combination of index and match. Now, as we have learned this concept, let us go back to our data that we were actually using here in this exercise, and then we can use the index and match function to populate all the values that we need. Okay, so let us go to our home tab, and here in this column, we actually need to bring in the product name from this second sheet here, that is product, but we need to bring that intelligently against this product ID. So let us start that by writing our index function. So I will say index, and now the first argument is basically array, and the array is basically the area where the product name is contained. So I will go to my second sheet here, and I will select all of that column right from the top to bottom, and I will press comma, and now I will start applying the formula of match. So we are on the other sheet right now, so you can keep your eyes on this formula bar here, and let us start typing the match function. Now we have started another function, and that is match, and the match function is asking you for the lookup value. So what is the lookup that we are, what is the value that we are trying to find? So we are going to find this tab, this product ID of 869. So I will say on the home tab, the column B2 is the one that I'm looking for right now, and I will press comma, and now the second argument is lookup array, that where I am trying to match this value of 869. So I will go back to my product sheet, and I will say that this should be looked against in this column A, and now press comma again, and now Excel is asking us for the type of match. So I will say 0, and I will select that and close the bracket twice because there are two arguments. I'll press enter, and now you can see Excel has given us the product name, and the value that has been given to us is National Grapefruit Roll. So let us go to the other file, and let us see what is the product name against this 869 in the other file. So let us go there and Control F, 869. So this is going to be National Grapefruit Roll. So I can see that my answer is correct here, right? So now what we need to do is that we need to copy and paste this formula to the complete column here. And before we copy and paste, let us make sure that we have locked in cell properly. So let us look at all the cell ranges. So this one here, home B2. So this argument of home B2 should not be locked because as I move downwards, this should be changed to B3 and B4 and B5. So I will not change this one, but this argument, this complete array area and complete lookup area should be locked. So I will go here, I will press F4, I will press F4, I will press F4 and press F4. So you can see that all the cells in this formula has been locked except the B2, and that should not be locked logically, right? So now let us copy and paste this to all the cells below, and Excel has given us the name for all the values. Let us check one of them. So if I can just look at this product ID 367, this is Carlson 2% milk. So let us go there and check 367. So if I can just do Control F, 367. So this is Carlson 2% milk. So we can see that our answer is correct. So that is how we can use the index and match to find the same answers that we have earlier found using VLOOKUP. So there's a lot to practice for yourself. You have the data to do for customer ID and then store ID. You will be finding all of that information, but let us do one more in this particular lecture, and let us do I would say let us do customer name. So we have to find the customer name against this customer ID, and of course that information is available in this customer sheet here. So let us start this function. I would say index, and now what we are looking for, we are looking for customer name. So I will go to this customer file, and I will select all the data of customers. all the customer names, and I will press comma and start another argument. So I will say match, and now in the match we have to basically give the argument that what we are matching against. So I will go back to my home tab and I would say match against this customer ID, and I will press comma again, and now it is asking me for the match type, lookup array where I should be looking for. So I will go back to customer file and I will be saying that we are looking for here in this customer ID column here and here, and press comma, and let us select the exact match type, and let us close the bracket twice and press enter. So here we have Lana Waste as a customer name, and now let us check against 3449 that what is the customer name actually in this file here. So 3449, I would say Control F, 3449. So we can see that we have the same customer name as Lana, and now let us go back and let us copy and paste this formula to all the cells below. But before we copy and paste these cells below, let us open this formula and let us lock the ranges, the arrays. So lock this one and lock this one, and also this one and this one. So what we are not locking, we are just not locking this cell E2, that is basically the customer name, that should be changing each time. So I will press enter and now copy and paste this to all the cells below, and you can see that we have customer names for all of these customers. Let us check one of them. So maybe say let us say this one, 2438. So it should be Angelina McDonald's. So 2438, Control F, 2438, and here we can see it is Angelina McDonald. Right, so this is how index and match function works. So one thing that that we started the discussion with, that we can actually achieve our answers with VLOOKUP. Then why we are learning this index and match function? Well, with VLOOKUP you have to select the data, all the data that you are where you are trying to find the answers. So if we are looking to find the answers for product, and we are looking for the answers in the product retail price, I will be selecting all of that data, right from the column 1 to column 3, and then I will be giving the column number as 3. In index and match, you don't need to select this middle column if you are looking for product retail price. Now the benefit of that is the Excel knows the exact column in case of index and match. In case of VLOOKUP, Excel knows the column number, I mean this third column here, and if you delete the second column, the third column will become the second column. I will repeat, if you delete this column B, this column C data will become actually in column B, and your VLOOKUP function, which is giving the argument as 3, will fail. And the second reason VLOOKUP is it fails sometimes is that VLOOKUP only works against the parameters on the left and the data that we are trying to find on the right. But if we have to find, let us say we have to go backwards, we have to find the product ID against the product name. So the data that is available is on the right and the lookup values are on the left. So VLOOKUP will not work in that case either. So anyways, if that is a little confusing, you can ignore that part, and what we can conclude is that we can simply conclude that index and match is a better way to VLOOKUP.